ಸಿಯಾನ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ನ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಾನು ಶಶಿರೇಖಾ. ಇವತ್ತು ಟಾಕ್ ವಿತ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಕುಲಪತಿಗಳಾಗಿದ್ದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎನ್ ಪ್ರಭುದೇವ ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ವಿಷಯ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ಜೀವನ, ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಅಥವಾ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ, ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರಭುದೇವ ಅವರು ಕುಲಪತಿಗಳಲ್ಲದೆ ಅವರು ತಜ್ಞ ವೈದ್ಯರು ಸಹ. ಜಯದೇವ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದವರು. ಅವರು ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ತಜ್ಞರು ಪ್ಲಸ್ ವೈದ್ಯರು. ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಆರೋಗ್ಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಬೀರುತ್ತೆ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ತಜ್ಞರಾಗಿ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯವೂ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಈ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಕೆಲವರು ನಮ್ಮ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರಿಗಾಗಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನಲ್ಲೇ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನಲ್ಲೇ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ತಗೋತೇನೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಔಟ್ ಆನ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್?
Well, the whole topic is about life is more important than exams. Rather, I would say life and education, they are more important than exams. Now, to your question, what is the COVID fallout on education in India? The COVID-19 in India is a part of the worldwide pandemic of coronavirus disease. The first case of coronavirus disease in India was reported on 30th January 2020. As of 12th June 2021, India has had the second highest number of confirmed cases in the world after the United States, with 29.3 million reported cases, and a third of the highest number of COVID-19 deaths after the United States and Brazil, at 367,081 deaths. This was as on 12th June 2021. In India, since the coronavirus first appeared, nearly 320 million students have been directly affected by the school closures. This is a report from UNESCO. Over 1.5 million schools have closed down due to the pandemic. This adds to 6 million girls and boys who were already out of school prior to COVID-19. The pandemic has left permanent scars on the children's education. Many children will possibly fall out of formal schooling due to loss of parental income. Another important fallout is the virtual learning, which has become a very popular these days. The reality of virtual learning today is that it has been a lifesaver in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. As many school systems were forced to close for the safety of students and that of the teachers, virtual learning has become a way of life to keep the students from falling behind in their learning. There is a serious risk that COVID-19 will wipe out several decades of progress, most notably the progress that has been achieved in addressing poverty and gender equality. COVID-19 has the potential to radically reshape our world, but we must not passively sit back and observe what plays out. Now is the time for public deliberation and democratic accountability. Now is the time for intelligent collective action.
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎರಡನೇ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಇದೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೋರ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಆನ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್?
Well, it's a good question. What is education and what are exams? The education is about knowledge. Exams are about just results. Now let us see what is education. To keep it simple, education is the process of facilitating learning, acquisition of knowledge, acquisition of skills, values, morals and beliefs, and ethics. Education is a process of creation of sound mind in a sound body. Education is the privilege and prerogative of the human beings. It distinguishes human beings from other creations. Education isn't how much you know. It is about how much you don't know also. It is to differentiate between how much you know and how much you don't know. Education is the power to think clearly, the power to work ethically and to act morally, to lead a useful and a fruitful life. Education is the freedom from corrupt mind. Education is a movement from darkness to light.
The other question, Doctor, what is the aim of the education?
The aims of education is here to have knowledge of facts and of values. Knowledge is power. It aims to learn how to learn. It aims in character building. It aims to create thoughtful citizens, to imbibe self-esteem and confidence, values and good and to be a responsible citizen.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದೇನಂದ್ರೆ, are education and exams two faces of the same coin?
Yes, examination and education are misunderstood terms and have been misinterpreted throughout. The skill, the wisdom and the knowledge developed by a learning process is education. The world is changing at an ever quickening rate, which means that a lot of knowledge becomes obsolete and inaccurate more quickly. The emphasis is therefore shifting to learning skills and to picking up new knowledge quickly and in a single way as possible, in an agile way as possible.
In what are exams, sir?
Well, coming to exams, in education, an examination is a test to show how much of knowledge a student has been able to imbibe and shows the ability of student to absorb. Exam is an educational assessment intended to measure the student's knowledge, skill, aptitude, and physical fitness. Exams vary in style, rigor, and requirements. The examination is a system of assessment. One passes an examination and the person is entitled for a degree or a certificate. There are millions of people passing the same examination, but the education which they acquire varies widely. So exams are not equivalent to education.
The other questions, sir, do exams throttle India's education systems?
Well, this is an important question. The grade 10 and grade 12 examinations, for instance, fails a large number of children. Nearly 40% of the students fail and stops them from going any further in education process. So the exam system acts as a custodian which does not permit vast number of children to go forward. It has acquired its legitimacy over the century, and so nobody questions it. In the draft of the National Education Policy 2019, there is an idea that we can shift to a modular examination rather than one single examination. Examination is an age-old practice used as an effective tool measuring what has been learned by the individual students. Exams are necessary because they determine the effectiveness of teaching as well. Examination, so, is not a true test of knowledge. Intelligence is how much one knows and how well one processes the information. However, recalling facts as a test of knowledge has nothing to do with intelligence. It's only a test of memory. Knowledge is not useful if it cannot be intelligently applied. And intelligence is useless without sufficient knowledge. I'll repeat this sentence because this is very important. Knowledge is not useful if it cannot be intelligently applied. And intelligence is useless without sufficient knowledge. A student's performance in the board exam hinges not just on the difficulties in taking the exam, but the challenges faced during the entire period of the board exams. And these challenges need due acknowledgement. Board examinations mark an academic rite of passage to millions of students in India every year to graduate and to hold a degree. They are an important yardstick in determining the life trajectories of the nation's human capital. But just the process of taking these exams has become a challenge for the students of the batch of 2021 during the period of pandemic because of the issues that have risen out of pandemic.
Doctor, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು question ಇದೆ. What are the challenges to education that faced during the pandemic?
Well, the lockdown began in the month of March 2020. Schools across India shut down and moved into an online mode of teaching. Reopening did happen in fits and starts. Some regions that witnessed resurgence of viral infections had to shut down again, and so it has continued for the most of the academic period during 2021. In spite of the mobile penetration into the rural areas, the roadblocks in the internet availability and probably around 50 to 60% of the students had the benefit of online education. So the schools imparting online education were not able to reach out to all the students, and those who were left out had a learning gap. The syllabus was reduced about 30% because of the school closures of the curriculum, and this added to the shortfall of the learning quality and the quantity. No hands-on experience in the labs have led to a significant learning gap. The lockdown seriously impacted the experimental learning as students got confined to their homes, and this limited their interactions. Students have a natural requirement to connect with peers and then formulate their own learning processes, and this was not feasible due to the period of lockdown. Lack of physical activities such as sports and yoga that are part of the daily schooling schedule took its toll on the students. Physical health. Obesity is on the increase, and many domestic issues have played out on the body and mind of the children, since the second wave of the pandemic is affecting the younger population.
Doctor, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು question ಇದೆ. How have the student taken online education?
Coming to the online education has been started as a stopgap measure. It's an arrangement to classroom learning in place of classroom learning, but it is in no way a replacement. Over time, we have seen that students are facing what is called as a screen fatigue and are finding it difficult to keep their interest and attention from flagging. Soon, we may have to switch to an evolving school of learning called as hybrid learning. We should know that only 24% of the households have access to the internet, according to 2019 government survey.
Doctor, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು question ಇದೆ. Now that board exams are cancelled, what will be the next, Doctor?
See, the second wave of the coronavirus pandemic and the resulting postponement of class 12 or cancellation of class 12 board examinations have now created a new set of challenges for the students. Education is being concurrent subject that has led to a plethora of solutions from each state and has added to the confusion. Many students have applied for foreign universities and have got conditional admissions, may miss the bus if the results are not announced by first week of July. Many students have taken Covaxin in the vaccination process to be able to go abroad for pursuing education. This is not yet approved by FDA and many other countries, though this has added to the confusion. To make things worse, the process of college admissions has got seriously hit by the second wave of COVID, thereby adding to the anxiety levels of the average student. Students also seem to have their admissions, the criteria for academic assessment may be adopted in the case of board 12 examinations. They are cancelled now. The bright and outstanding students may be nervous about not getting the deserving marks or grades to progress to the college education of their and institution of their choice.
The other question, Doctor, how has the COVID pandemic changed the education?
Well, the COVID pandemic has really disrupted the education process in India, not only in India, all over the world. Due to the pandemic, around 9 to 12 crore Indians, the children have lost access to the midday meals. Nearly 100 crore Indian children have been pushed to below poverty line by the pandemic. It is indeed a disastrous result. It perpetuates hunger and promotes stunted growth, anemia, and malnutrition. Education has been changed dramatically with the distinctive rise of e-learning, whereby teaching is undertaken remotely on digital platforms. Research suggests that online learning has been shown to increase retention of information and take less time to learn meaning that changes coronavirus have caused might be here to stay for long.
Next question, Doctor. Are there any drawbacks in this changeover?
Oh, well, certainly. This unplanned and rapid move to online learning with no training, insufficient bandwidth, and inadequate preparation will result in a poor user experience that is not conducive to sustained growth. Many others believe that a new hybrid model of education will emerge with significant benefits. I believe that the integration of information technology in education will be further accelerated, and the online education will eventually become an integral component of school education.
Doctor, what are the challenges of online education, Doctor?
Well, there are many challenges. The challenges of online learning endeavors lie in the grand reliance on technology and electricity. This is the main drawback. Most of the people have spent the majority of their educational tenure only in a physical classroom. Now they're getting used to e-learning. Plainly put, some students have a difficult time applying their personal learning style to the environments of online classroom. Teachers are also facing several challenges in the online mode of learning and finding solutions. Teachers need to be trained in digital platforms. While private schools have adopted to online learning and they've started taking digital sessions, students in the government schools have been left behind. It took a pandemic for the government to understand that India's education system needs a technology boost. Now that the government has realized that only less than 1/4 of the Indian households have internet access. In rural areas, only 16% receive 1 to 8 hours of electricity daily. 33% receive 9 to 12 hours of electricity, while only 47% they get about 12 hours of electricity. Kids are more easily distracted. Children extensively use their senses to learn, making learning a fun and effective throughout the technology is crucial. Many students without reliable internet access and technology struggle to participate in digital learning platform. This gap is seen across the countries. For example, 95% of the students in Switzerland, Norway, and Austria have a computer on hand, whereas in India, it's just about 34%.
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಇದು ಅವ್ರ ಕಣ್ಣಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಹ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ?
Yeah, they do develop, what is called as a screen fatigue. They do develop loss of concentration. They do develop some psychological behavioral patterns. But, with the child psychologists and the parents' help, I think this should be sorted out within no time. And with the gadgets, particularly the tablets or the laptops with improved screen, presence, they will come out of these problems.
Last question, Doctor. Can online learning be a catalyst to the evolving hybrid learning?
Well, certainly, traditional learning is losing its relevance. The move to online learning can be a catalyst to create a new, more effective method of, educating students. While some worry that the hasty measure of transition online may have hindered this goal, others plan to make e-learning a part of their new normal after experiencing the benefits of on first hand. There is a determined move to shift to hybrid learning. Now let's examine what is hybrid learning. Hybrid learning is an educational model where some students attend class in person and others join the class virtually from home. Educators teach remote and in person students across the same time using tools like video conferencing, hardware and software. Research shows that on average, students retains 25 to 60% more material while learning in the hybrid system than online classrooms. E-learning requires about 40 to 60% less time to learn than in a traditional classroom setting. Now, if you look at what is the way forward, to be able to afford an education at a low cost is naturally a priority for all individuals. Preventing a learning crisis from becoming a generational catastrophe requires urgent action from all. Education is not only a fundamental human right, but it also is an enabling right with direct impact on the realization of all other human rights. If these times, online classes and remote learnings have been the medium through which learning is delivered to the students, teachers as well as students have adopted themselves to make the best of the model of learning. Access to the quality of resources available for remote learning needed to be improved. Access to high-speed internet and affordable gadgets to access online resources is a concern in smaller cities and towns and in rural areas. Now, the way forward for during this pandemic is that to be able to afford an education at a low cost is naturally everybody's priority. Preventing a learning crisis from becoming a generational catastrophe requires an urgent action from all of us. Education is not only a fundamental human right, but it's also an enabling right, which with a direct impact on the realization of all other human rights. In these times of online classes and remote learning have been the medium through which learning is delivered to the students. Teachers as well as students have adopted remarkably to make the best of this mode of learning. Access and quality of resources available for remote learning need to be improved. Access to high-speed internet and affordable gadgets to access online resources is a concern in smaller cities, towns, and in rural areas.
What is the conclusion, Doctor?
Well, first and foremost, we must suppress the transmission of virus. We must put an end to this pandemic. The single most significant step to hasten the reopening of schools and eradication of education institutions. The challenge of reopening is complex. It ensures the safety of all and they must ensure the safety of all and coordinate with the health authorities. The pandemic has pushed the world into a deepest global recession in living memory, which will have lasting effects on the economies of public finances and that of the educational institutions. Build resilient education system. Protect the teachers from poverty and parents from tyranny of the fee enhancements. Envisage the plans to protect educational institutions. Reimage and restructure the education of the curriculum, teaching and learning. Change is possible. We should seize the opportunity to find new ways to address the learning crisis and being about a set of solutions previously considered difficult or impossible to implement. Expand the definition of the right to education to include the connectivity. Remove barriers to connectivity. Strengthen the data and monitoring of learning. Strengthen this articulation and flexibility across all levels and types of education and training. Although nothing can be compared to the traditional way of teaching and learning, you can't deny that online education is the best and the current situation. There are challenges and difficulties, but that's good to see that teachers are giving their best to make sure the kids do not miss out on anything. As parents, you can try and reduce the stress of online education by understanding the kids and by being a little more empathetic towards the teachers. It is not easy for kids and they have been very patient. So let us do a little bit more and let's be patient and be considerate till all this pandemic is all over.
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ನೀವು ಇವತ್ತು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವಿನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ತೆರೆದುಕೋಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಡ್ರಾಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಏನು, ಅದರ ಸಾಧಕ ಬಾಧಕಗಳೇನು ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇವತ್ತು ತುಂಬಾ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದಿರಾ. ಇದು ದೇಶದ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ದೇಶದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೂ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ತಜ್ಞ ವೈದ್ಯರಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ತಜ್ಞರಾಗಿ ಸಹ ಎರಡು ಆಂಗಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೆ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.